Hi, Taryn, how are you? Okay, all right, I guess I can start. Good afternoon, grade fours. I hope you guys are well. I'm good. Memma Luleke, and I'm going to take you guys through formats as you already know. So, so far, I think everyone, I can see who is here and who is not. You know, what makes me say that is yesterday we could see that Joda wasn't here, but then she says that her internet was not okay. And yes, thank you guys for coming in early and greeting me and having the conversations that you guys have. I really appreciate that. And then, hi, Callum, how are you? Okay, so we started on multiplication, guys. Okay, before I can go there, we are doing multiplication, right? So today we are going to, this is our third lesson, and we are going to look at multiplication using the column method. One learner actually asked me a very interesting question. Kayla, she says, ma'am, why do we have to use different methods in maths? Why don't you do one method and stick with it? So now we're multiplying, and I only say that I'm going to expose you to only two methods, but there's plenty methods there are out there. And then the reason why you guys should do different methods is so that you can be able to the one use the one that you understand the most, because someone might find that breaking down is difficult, and then someone might find that column method is easier. I find that lattice method is much easier. So you see, so you have a choice. And then, as I told Kayla, in life we get so many problems, so we cannot have one solution in life all the time. So we not only just, I'm not just a math teacher, I'm teaching you how to survive. So when you're out there as an adult, you guys, you'll be able to use different ways to solve your problems, you see. So it's not just about math. And as we come in, guys, remember to switch off your videos. You have to switch off your videos. And then yesterday we did multiplication using the breaking down method. I wish we had more than 45 minutes. I'm sure as you guys wished yesterday. And then if you see that we are busy and then you cannot get it, I do not just give one example. So on the next one, I'll still repeat the same thing. So maybe instead of focusing on saying, ma'am, I don't understand, ma'am, I don't understand, give me the chance to explain on the other examples, and then tell me where you do not understand. As I said yesterday, I said you have to tell me where you do not understand. Otherwise, I cannot just start from slide one and go back. I mean, I cannot go back to slide one. But then if you tell me, ma'am, it's actually like yesterday, I forgot to say it, ma'am, it's rounding off that I do not understand, you see. So then I know the problem is with rounding off. If you say, ma'am, it's the borrowing, I don't understand, or the carrying over in maths, I don't understand how you did that. Or step two, then I can re-explain step two. So I'm not saying you should not say you don't understand. You should say that, but tell me where you do not. Tell me where you do not understand, right? Yes. So I think, yeah, we have laid down all the rules. So just say, ma'am, go back to step two, re-explain, I'll do that. But don't say, I don't understand at all. I don't know where, I wouldn't know where to help. It's like when you go to a doctor and the doctor asks you, what's painful? And then you say, my whole body. And then the doctor says, where? And then you say, my whole body. Where is the doctor going to check? So you say, oh, no, it's my headache. Actually, I think it's my leg. Then the doctor will know where to check. So yeah, enough about that. So today we are doing multiplication using the column method. So by the end of the lesson, you're going to know how to use place value. Remember yesterday when we were doing breaking down, I said that your prior knowledge, so what you come in knowing, yesterday you came in knowing, you had to come in knowing rounding off and also expanded notation so that you understand the whole concept, right? So today, you have to come in knowing place value. So if you know what are units, what are tens, what are hundreds, if you know that this method is for you. And then there are two ways, so you're going to know, because there are two ways that I did of using the column method. So you see as we do them, and then you can use either one. So there's the shortcut one and then the long one. But I started with the long one so that you can understand where is it coming from, because I just don't want to give you, okay, do it like this, when you do not understand where it is coming from. So if you know your place values, you are home and away. If you don't know place values by now, there should be a problem somewhere, because we did place value. You guys do place value from grade 2. So when I talk about place value, it's your units, your tens, your hundreds, right? So those are the place values. So I'm sure you know that, and then it's not going to be a problem when we do the column method. It's fine. If you're late, it's okay. Hi guys, I'm not ignoring you. I can see your hellos, but then you guys came after 2. So unfortunately, I cannot be greeting. I have to start teaching. Okay, but I can see your apologies. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. Yesterday, we were mentioning remember we said you say 1 times 1 or 1 times 2, and then we check how many zeros we have. So we are reinforcing that. If yesterday you didn't understand, we had I remember we had Taryn, we had Zoe answering and telling us exactly how I said it. And then they said the easier way for you to say it is whatever. So maybe now I'll take one person and then they take us through half of the mental maths using that easier method, because I want you guys to know it. And your background should be good. Yeah, and yeah, your battery should also be good. So this mental maths, mental maths says you have to take something like 5 minutes. So we need only 4 minutes, someone who's going to do it in 4 minutes, right? So let's see whose hand is raised. Okay, we have Jordan. Okay, Joda. Okay, all right. Joda, you are unmuted. You do have, and then Zoe will do have, because I see Zoe also was the second person to raise her hand. So, Joda, you are unmuted.
Good day, ma'am.
Good day. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you, ma'am?
I'm also good. You were missed yesterday, but you can start. We'll talk about that later. Yes, Joda?
Okay. 10 times 20 is 200.
How do you get 200?
I just add a 0 to the 20.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, move on to the next one. Joda? Joda, are you still with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and the next one, 20 times 20.
20 times 20 is 400.
How do you get the 400?
I times 2 times 2 is 4, and I add 2 zeros.
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear. 2 times 2, which is 4, and you add 2 zeros. Move on to the next one.
3 times 2 is 6, and I add 2 zeros, so that gives us 600.
Yes, move on to the next one.
4 times 2 is 8, and I add 2 zeros, which gives us 800.
And the next one?
5 times 2 is 10, and I add 2 zeros, which gives us 1,000.
Yes, well done. Thank you so much, Joda. Let Zoe finish. Yes, even if you're not here, Joda, you didn't miss much, because I think I have also said this previously. Okay, Zoe, you are unmuted.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Zoe. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And how are you, ma'am?
I'm also good. Yes, let's go.
Ma'am, where am I starting?
On 10 times 30.
Okay, ma'am. So if it's too hard for you, you say 1 times 3, and then you add the 2 zeros, and 1 times 3 is 3. So your answer is gonna be 300.
Yes, 20
and then
times
you
30.
say 2 times 3, and 2 times 3 is 6, and then you add the 2 zeros, and it's 600. And then you say 3 times 3 is 12, and then it's 9.
Yes, it's 9. Well
and
done.
then you add the 2 zeros, and then your answer is gonna be 900. And then you say 1 times 4, and 1 times 4 is 4. So then you add the 2 zeros, and then your answer is 400.
Okay, yes, you are right, Zoe. And then the people that are also answering on the chat, I'm seeing your answers, guys. I'm seeing your answers. Right. Okay. So thank you for Zoe and Joda. And I saw the people that answers. Thank you, guys. I'm sure today you remember the easier way of doing it. So you do not need a calculator because God gave you a brain. So you use your God-given calculator. I always tell my learners, God gave you a calculator that works better than the calculator. So which is your brain? Thank you, guys, and well done. Okay, so that was our mental maths. Now we are going to go into the lesson. So we are going to look at two ways in which we can multiply using the column method, right? And then the first thing grade 4s that I want you guys to do, always when you do the column method, maybe when you reach grade 5, you can say you have matured. Okay, I know you have matured. You can say you have graduated from the place value table. So you draw the place value table. If you are using a choir book, if your book already have the squares, it's fine. But then I know there's some schools that are using the lined books, so you have to draw a place value table so that you do not confuse your place values. So what is a place value table? This is what I've drawn in red. Can you see what I drew in red? So each place value have got its column, and then it's hundreds, tens, and units. Can you see that? And then we are multiplying 27 times 24. So I put the units under units, the tens under tens. Can you see that? So that is the first thing that you have to know. So now, because I told you yesterday that we are multiplying 2 by 2-digit numbers, so we are not using the hundreds when we put our numbers, but we are going to use the hundreds when we multiply, right? So with this first method, this is what you're going to do. So what is in red is what we are multiplying. And then the answers, I wrote them in blue so that you do not get confused. So this 4, can you see this 4? This 4 is going to multiply this number, which is 7. And this 4 is going to multiply this number. Remember, this is 7 units. And this is 2 tens, and 2 tens is 20, right? We know that 2 tens is 20. So if we see that the 2 is under tens, we know that is 20, right? Okay. Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, I'll unmute you, Ramu. I'll unmute you. It's fine. Okay. So as I was saying, okay, someone is saying something that is making me laugh. So we say 4 times 7. So 4 times 7 is 28. This is the example, guys. I'll give you a chance to answer. I just want to, I know most of you know this. I just want those that do not know for now, so we don't leave them behind. We don't want to leave anyone behind. So we say 4 times 7, and then it's 28. So we write it as 28 like this, right? So it's 28. And I also wrote it here on this side so that you can see what you multiplied. And then we say 4 times 20, because this is 2 tens. So here I've said 20 times 4, which is 4 times 20 is the same thing, right? So 4 times 20 is 80. And then we are done. The 4 have multiplied the top numbers. Now we come to this 2, and this is not a 2, but it's a 20. So the 20 have to multiply 7, and the 20 have to multiply 2, right? And then we say 20 multiplied by 7. So as Joda and Zoe said, and I know most of you said also when you were doing mental maths. So when it's 20 times 7 like this, we say 7 times 2, and then it gives us 14. Then we add 1 0 because 20 have 1 0, right? And then from 14, we add a 0, and our answer is 140. So we write the 140 like this. And then now we say 20, this 20 times 20 now. We say 20 times 7, then we say 20 times 20. So 20 times 20, so I've written it here so that we can still revise. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then we add 2 zeros there. So here is the 2 zeros. So the answer is 400. You see why I was teaching you that mental math? So that when it comes here, it becomes easy. Then now we add everything that is in the blue. So 8 plus 0, okay, 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, it's 8. I'm always lazy to say plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. I know maybe also you guys are always lazy to say that. So 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 8. And then 2 plus 8 is 10. Plus 4, it's 14. So we write down, the answer is 14, right? Remember, always write down the units, and we carry the tens. So the answer is 14. We write down 4, which is the units, and we carry 1, which is the 10. So we carry it here on the hundreds. So we say 1 that we carried plus 1, we get 2, and then 2 plus 4, we get 6. And then the answer is 648. I think this one is the easiest method, right? Okay, so who does not understand this? Who doesn't understand this one? Did you understand this? Ma'am, I understand. I can move on. Okay, I'll move on. So remember, we are doing this. So if you didn't get it now, you are going to get it on this example, right? If you're paying attention, I'm telling you, okay, thank you, Alex, for saying, ma'am, I do. Okay, all right, thank you. And then now we are multiplying 53 multiplied by 13. So you see the place value, I'm not leaving the place value table, guys. So hundreds, tens, units, and then 3 under units, 5 under tens, and then there 3 under units, and then 1 under tens. So now that we've put our place values, then we multiply. So these 3 have to multiply the top numbers. It's like yesterday when we did the breaking down. Remember, we said the number on the first bracket have to multiply the 2 numbers on the second bracket. Do you still remember? So this is the same way. The only thing that is different is the way that it is presented. You see? So, okay, all right, Joda. Okay, thank you, Kayla. Thank you, No Wonder. You guys are saying, ma'am, we understand this. Okay, good. Okay, so these 3 must multiply the 2 numbers on top, and then this 10 should multiply the 2 numbers on top. So we start 3 times 3. I wrote it here. 3 times 3 gives us 9, and then we write the 9. Then 3 times 50, because this 5 is not a 5, but it's a 50 because it's a 53, right? So 3 times 50, you can see I wrote it here. So we say 3 times 5, and then it's 15. We add a 0, and then we get 150. Do you see that? So now 3 has multiplied 3, and 3 has multiplied 50. Then we move on. Now we have to multiply by 10. So we say 10 times 3. So 10 times 3 gives us 30. This is the 30 here. And then we say 10 times 50. So this 10 times 50. So we say 1 times 5, it gives us 5, and then we add the 2 zeros, and then we get 500. And then thereafter, we can add 9 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, it's 9. 5 plus 3 plus 0, it's 8. And then 1 plus nothing plus 5 gives us 6. So our answer is 589. You see, this one is easy, ne? I'm sure this one is easy. Oh, thank you, Little. What's wrong, Taryn? What's wrong? It is confusing when you times the top numbers. Oh, okay, let's see. You know what I'm going to do, Taryn? Because you are saying it's confusing when you do the top numbers. I'm going to unmute you, and then we go together. We go together, and then you tell me where you get confused, right? And your name was next anyway on the line. So, Taryn, you are unmuted. Hi,
It was
Taryn.
for the. Good morning, Miss.
It's afternoon.
It was for the. Good afternoon, Miss.
Yes.
It was confusing for the first example.
It was confusing for the first example.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, now, okay, let's do this one together. Let's do this one together. So we first multiply 8, this 8, right? With the 2 top numbers, and then we multiply 10 with the 2 top numbers. Okay, let's start.
So 8 times 3 is 16 plus 8 is 24.
And then we wrote this 24, and then we say 8 times
2
8 times
is
20 times 20
times 20 is 600. No, 160.
160, and then we say, are we done with 8? Are we done with this one? We are done, right?
10 times 3 is 30.
Yes. And then we say?
10 times 20
Mm-hmm.
is 200.
Yes. And then after we add, right?
Okay.
Do you get it now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Tarian. Okay. All right. So that's what you do as Tarian did. And then after we add, so we say 4 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, we get 4. And then 2 plus 6 gives us 8. Plus 3, it gives us 11. So we write down 1 and we carry 1. And then we say 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 2, we get 4. We have more examples. Okay, so if you don't understand, you tell me on the chart, then we'll do it together. Okay, let me just check the chart because I don't want, ma'am, so you also put the times table in the method. Okay, Kayla, we have to do, you know, when we're multiplying, we have to do the times table. There is no other way because we are doing the times. There is no other way. We cannot run away from it. Okay, so who wants to do the next one? You can raise your hand. You can raise your hand and then let's see. Okay, Alex, you are unmuted. Unmute, Alex. Okay, there we go.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Alex, how are you?
Fine, and you, ma'am?
I'm also good. Okay, let's go.
So, ma'am, 7 times 4.
Mm-hmm.
28.
Yes, it's 28. And yes, and then what's the next thing?
And 10 times 20 is 200.
Okay, wait, Alex. Okay, so you said 7 times or 4 times 7, and then we have to multiply 4 with the tens. We have multiplied 4 with the unit, and the unit is 7. So now we have to multiply 4 with the tens. So you must say 4 times what?
4 times 10.
And what is 4 times 10?
40.
Yes, it's 40. And then now what do we do next, Alex?
We times 7 with 20.
We times 7 with 20. All right, so we say 20 times 7. What is 20 times 7? What is the easiest way of doing it?
2 times 7. And 2 times 7, it's 17. And you just add a 0, so it's 140.
Okay, 2 times 7 is 14. Eh? It's 14.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And then what do we do last?
We add a 0.
Let's multiply this one. 20 times 10.
20 times 10 is 30. I mean
Time.
200.
Yes, it's 200. Ne, Alex? Or you should not confuse your multiplication with addition. Times means your answer has to be more, and then addition we just add, it's closer. So don't confuse your multiplication and your addition. Okay, so it's 200. But you know what? I love that you actually raised your hand and you tried. Not only did you try, now you're going to know how to do it. And you said here the answer is 200. Thank you so much, Alex, for helping us, right?
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so Alex have multiplied for us. So if you were getting confused where Alex was getting confused, I'm sure you are sorted now. And then after adding, I think the adding part is the easier one, right? Then we say 8 plus those zeros is 8. And then 2 plus 4 plus 8, it gives us 10. So it's 0 carry 1. Then 1 plus 1 plus 2 gives us 4. Okay, so we can move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here's the next one. And the next person that I'm going to unmute. Okay, so the next person on the line that I'm going to unmute is Gabrielle. Gabrielle, you are unmuted.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, Gabrielle, how are you?
Atika, how are you?
I'm also good. Okay, you can take us through. We are now multiplying 36 times 19.
Teacher, we first multiply 9 by 6.
And what is 9 times 6?
Is 54.
Yes, it's 54. You are right.
Then we times 9 times 3.
Okay, we times. Okay, it's not a 3. What is it? Using
30.
this method. Yes, 30. Well done.
And that equals 70.
Okay, what is 9 times 3?
9 times 3, 27, and then you just add a 0.
Yes, yes. And then if we add the 0, it becomes?
270.
Well done. You have learned something. Yes. Let's continue. I'm proud of you.
And then 10 times 6 is 60.
Well done.
And then 10 times 30 is 300.
Yes. Thank you so
And
much.
then your full answer will be 684.
Well done. The whole answer will be 684. Indeed. Okay. I love it when someone first gets it wrong and then they get it right. It means that you have learned something. Thank you so much, Gabrielle, for answering. All right. I'm going to, muted already there. Okay. Okay. So let's move on to, okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now that you have seen the first method, what I want with the first method, guys, I wanted you to see that a 2 on the tens. For example, here, I wanted you to see that a 2 is not a 2, it's actually a 20. I wanted you to see here that this one is not a 1, it's a 10. I wanted you to see that. Now that you have seen it, right? I'm going to show you now the easier way of multiplying using the column method. So you actually don't need to use the first one. It was a trap. You don't need to use the first one. I wanted you to see the tens and to see that 0 on the 20, on the 10, whether it's a 30. I wanted you to see that one. Now we can come to the easier way of multiplying. So this is actually what maybe your teachers have taught you in school. Okay, so this one, still the column method, but it's a shorter version of it. See? Okay, so we do the same thing. We start, now everyone knows, we start with the units. So we say 3 times 3, it's 9. You see, I've written 9 here. And then we say 3 times 2, it's 6, right? We're multiplying 3 with the top number. Now we are going to multiply, this is 3 units. Now we are going to multiply 10 with the top numbers. But then, listen very carefully. This 10, because you know that this one is a 10, we're going to put the 10, the 0 of the 10 here under the answer here. Can you see? We put the 0 here and we call it a placeholder. We call it a placeholder so that you can carry on to multiply by 1 instead of multiplying by 10, right? So we put down a 0 and then we can say, always put down the 0 under the units. So we can then say 1 times 3, 1 times 3 gives us 3. We write the answer under the tens. And then we say 1 times 2, the answer is 2. Can you see that? So if this is 10 times 23, and what is the answer? 10 times 23 after 2 is 230. You see, then you wrote the 230 here. You see where I'm coming from with all those strategies that I've taught you guys. So I want you to be able to relate, and I want you to do this method with understanding. I don't want you to be like a computer and you recite without understanding why do we have to put down a 0. Okay, why is it now a 230? It's a 230 because we are multiplying by 10. So here we're multiplying by units, and then when we come to multiplying by 10, we first have to put down a 0, then we can multiply by 1, and 1 times 3, 1 times 2 is 2. And remember when I said, was it on Monday, any number that you multiply by 10, we add a 0 at the end, right? So here's the 0 at the end, and then we're multiplying 23. I hope you understand. Then after multiplying, we then add 9 plus 0 gives us 9, and then 6 plus 3 gives us 9, and then 0 plus 2, it gives us 2. So then our answer is 299. Our answer is 299, you see? So you see where I was coming from with that long one? Okay, all right, yes, Zinzi, you said the answer is 299. Okay, Monet, don't worry. If you're late, you can still catch us on YouTube, so don't worry, my dear. It's better late than never, hey? Okay, so let's look at this one now. Let's look at this one, just in case I lost you somewhere. So we are multiplying 36 multiplied by 24, and then we are using the short column method now, not the long one. So we'll say, okay, I'll explain this one, then the last 14 minutes, I'll give people time to actually talk. So we say 4 times 6. So this unit will multiply the top numbers, and this 10 will multiply the top numbers. So 4 times 6 is 24, guys. Okay, you can write 24 on the side. You can write 24 on the side, or you can, I don't know how you do it. You can write it on your brain, but I always write it on the brain, or I carry the 4 with my hands and raise my hand so that I don't forget it. So 4 times 6 is 24. We always write down the units, whether we are adding or multiplying. If your answer is like 24, or if it's a 2-digit answer, we always write down the units and we carry the tens always, whether we are adding or we are multiplying, don't forget. So we write down the 4 and we carry the 2. So you can carry the 2, you can actually put up your 2 hands so that you don't forget the 2 that you carried, right? And then we say 4 multiplied by 3 is 12, plus the 2 that you carried. So now your hand will be up, isn't it? And then ma'am will be like, why is your hand up? You're like, no, ma'am, it's the 2 that I carried. Or your friend will be like, Joda, why is your hand up? Tarin, Zoe, why is your hand up? It's because I carried the 2. So now the 2 that you carry, we add it to the answer. So it's 4 times 6 is 24. We write down the 4 and carry the 2. So you put up your hand, you could put up your 2 fingers, and then we say 4 times 3, which is 12, plus the 2 that we carried on the fingers, to say, now you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing with my hands, like, hello, talk to me. Okay, so then the answer becomes 14. So you see, then you write it as 14 like this. We are done. 4 is done multiplying the top numbers. Now we come to this 20. Remember, guys, it's a 20. So what do? We put down the 0 first because it's a 20. Why are we putting down the 0? So that we are able to multiply with just the 2. So that we can just multiply with 2. So we put down a 0, and then we come and multiply with the 2, and then we say 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. So we write down, okay, let me just put it here. All right, so we write down 2 and we carry 1. So you carry 1, now it's only 1 finger that is up, right? And then we say 3 multiplied by 2 is 6, plus my 1 finger that is up is 7, right? And then you write the 7. Then we can add, so you say 4 plus 0, it gives us 4, and then 4 plus 2, it gives us 6, and then 1 plus 7, it gives us 8. So that is how we do. Okay. Oh, all right. That is how we do. Oh, no, Mornay, we have another Zoe. We have 2 Zoes. You are Zoe Rose, and then we have another Zoe, right? Okay. Oh, Dante, I'm sorry about your connection. Okay. All right. So that is how we do it. Okay. I also want to check what you guys say because I love things. So I don't want to miss out. Okay, so now I'm going to unmute someone else so that they can take us through this, because I don't want to be the only one to talk, guys. You know, I get tired. So let's see who hasn't said anything. You guys can raise your hand and then I'll see. Okay, the next person to be unmuted is Zoe. Zoe, you are unmuted. Hi, Zoe.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you, my dear?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you, ma'am?
I'm also good. Okay, you can explain for us.
Ma'am, so you have to say 5 times 6
Mm-hmm.
and then you say 5 times 2.
Okay, what is 5 times 6?
5 times 6 is 5 times 6 is 25.
Continue.
And then
Continue counting. It's not 25. Let's count together. So if 5, 10, 15.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
5 times 6, Zoe,
It's
not 5 times 5.
30.
It's 30 years. And what do we write down?
And then you write down the 0 in the units. Then you write down the 3 in the tens.
No, yes, we carry 3, Zoe. We carry 3
Carries 3
on your fingers. Now your fingers, you should be actually having 3 on your fingers. Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Then continue.
And then you say 3 times 2.
5 times 2, Zoe.
5 times 2
Mm-hmm.
and 5 times 2 is 10.
Plus the 3 that we carried. What is it?
Yes, ma'am.
It gives us
It's
what?
13.
Yes.
And then
13.
you put down the 1 in hundreds, and then you put.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Okay, you put the 100. Okay.
And then you put the 3 in the tens.
Uh-huh.
And then you say
We are done by 5.
You say 3 times 6.
Before you say 3 times 6, what is it that you must do?
You must
What is this 3, Zoe? Is this a 3?
No, it's 30.
Yes. So what must we do first? What must we
down
put?
the 0.
Yes, well done. Always, Zoe. If it's a 8, it means it's a 88. If it's under 10. If it's a 7, it means it's a 70. So we must put down the 0, yes. And then after putting down the 0.
And then you have to say 3 times 6.
Yes. And what is 3 times 6?
3 times 6 is it's 18.
And what do we write down?
You write down the 8 and then you carry the 1.
And you're carrying it on your finger, ne?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then what do we say, Zoe?
And then you say 3 times 2. And 3 times 2 is 6.
And what are you carrying?
And then you plus it with the 1. And then your answer is going to be 7.
Yes.
And then you add 0 plus 0 is 0. 3 times 3 plus 8 is 10. Then
it's 11. It's 11.
It's 11, and then you put down the 1. And then you say 1 plus 7. And then you say it's 9.
So 1 plus 7 plus the 1 that you carried here, ne? When the answer was 11, then we get 9 here.
And then your answer is going to be 910 if you say it all together.
Yes, thank you so much, Zoe, for answering. And then the next person, the next person that I'm going to unmute is, let me just go to the next slide. This is what Zoe was telling us. The next person that I'm going to unmute is, where's Junior? Junior with the next one. Okay, is Junior? Junior, you are unmuted.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Junior, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, yes, take us through, Junior. Yes, Junior. Okay, I think we lost Junior there. Okay, let me see whose hand is up. Okay, Kayla. Okay, Kayla, you are unmuted. Okay, yes. Kayla, how are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am, and how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you, okay, you can take us through.
Ma'am, so we have 17 and 54,
Mm-hmm.
and
So we start by saying
4
mm-hmm.
times 1,
4 times 7.
4 times 7,
Mm-hmm.
4 times 7 equals 4 times 7 equals 20, 21,
28. Yes. And we write down.
8, and you carry the 1,
No, we carry the 2. Remember, it's 28.
and you carry the 2,
Mm-hmm. We carry the 2 because the answer was 28. And then what do we say next?
you say 5,
Mm-mm.
5,
We're still on 4. We just said 4 times 7. Which one is short?
4 times 1,
Mm-hmm. It's what? What is 4 times 1?
equals 4
Mm-hmm. Plus the 2 that we carried.
plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
4 times 1 equals 4.
Plus 2. What is 4 plus 2?
4 plus 2 is 6.
Mm-hmm. And then what do we do next? Because we are done multiplying by 4. Which next number are we going to multiply with?
By 5?
Is it a 5?
Yes.
Mm-mm. What is it? It's not a 5. It's actually a what?
6.
Mm-mm. It's a 50. Remember I said it's a 50?
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's 5 tens. This is 5 tens, right? So it's a 50. So what do you put down? Before we multiply by 5, what is it that you must put down?
0.
Yes, we must put down a 0. And then we say 5 times 7. What is 5 times 7?
5 times 7 is 35.
35. So we write down.
Is
Yes, we write down 5 and we carry 3. And what is 5 times 1?
5 times 1 is 5.
Plus 3 that we carried?
8. Write
8.
down.
Yes, we write down. Okay, I'm going to add for you. Thank you so much, Kyla, for trying and for eventually getting it right. So after we have multiplied, then we say 8 plus 0, which is 8. And then 6 plus 5 is 11. So we write down 1 and we carry 1. And then 1 plus 8 gives us 9. See? So you have to practice this one, guys. If it's confusing you, I'll advise you you have to practice this one. And then this homework was, you're actually going to find it on the website. Or if you don't find it, you just make up your own 2-digit numbers, your 2 by 2 digit 2-digit numbers, and then you multiply using either the breaking down or the column method. So I would just advise you today to use the column method, and then after, when you have multiplied using the column method, then you can use the breaking down, so that at least you know both the methods, you see, so that you know both the methods. And then in summary, there are 2 ways of doing the column method. You use the one that you understand the best. So use the one that you understand. And when doing the column method, you must not forget to put down a 0 when you are multiplying by 10, because that makes a difference. It makes a huge difference to your answer. Your answer will be wrong if you don't put down a 0, if you use the shortcut method of column method. And then, yeah, until tomorrow, guys. See you then, and don't be late, because if you're late, then you miss out things and you won't know what we are doing. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe.